And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video if you want more content like this. And leave a comment.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Jaimito here, and today I'm here to discuss the atrocious job that Mark Daigneault did at the end of the game. I mean, just unexplainable, really. I'm not going to say it's probably one of the worst coaching strategies I've seen in the last decade, when a team that basically has the game won just decides to give a team multiple opportunities to stay in the game. So for 15 seconds left, which was a great game, then the Thunder were up about 10, 15 the entire game, but the Nuggets didn't let them get too far away. And then obviously Jokic, with one of the greatest performances you'll ever see, 40 and 20, was able to will his team back, while him and Aaron Gordon, the others didn't play that well. I mean, Jamal Murray, I think he shot 6 of 16. I mean, he made some key plays in the fourth just to keep it close. Russell Westbrook was great and also just as bad with some of the turnovers, the things that come with Russ, but he was a great part of the game, mostly good than bad. And then Michael Porter Jr., I think he only made one shot, but it wasn't necessarily a great game from the Thunder guys. Chet wasn't really that well. Chet didn't play that well. He also choked at the end. And then Jalen Williams didn't play that great. I mean, he had a little spurt in the third. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it wasn't like a crazy game for him, but for the most part, SGA played really good, especially in the fourth. I think he had 13 in the fourth. He came on late. He did enough to win the game. And Mark Daigneault decided with 15 seconds left, for the first off, what you would usually do in this situation is you would run off a little bit of time, then foul. I understand not letting them get a 3-point shot off because you don't want to go to overtime, but like they foul Jokic. This one was a little less egregious. I mean, I would have let time go off. They foul Jokic immediately with 15 seconds after Gordon gets his shot blocked and it goes out of bounds. So they foul him immediately, and it was a 3-point game. He makes it 2. The Nuggets have to foul. They call a timeout. They take Jokic out because he has 5 fouls, and just to play better defense in general. But I think mainly to take him out because he had 5 fouls because they had no more timeouts. So they took him out, and SGA breaks the press and scores, and they're up 3. And then this is the most egregious one. So the Nuggets have no timeouts, and you foul Aaron Gordon 75 feet away from the basket in 0.6 seconds, Alex Caruso. And I know it was Mark Daigneault's decision to foul, but like at least let him get it past half court. I mean, personally, you are statistically the best defense in the sport. Just play it straight up with Jokic off the floor. And even if you're gonna foul, make them get it across half court. If they take a over half court shot to tie it up from 3, you're going to live with that. Or a 40, 30 footer without Jokic in, you live with that. They don't have the personnel, and they hadn't been shooting that great. I think they were like 5 at 24 at one point from 3. I think Aaron Gordon might have hit the most threes for this team. And so you foul Aaron Gordon, put him on the line. And I feel like in this situation, you're putting too much stress on your players to have to, 1, execute getting the ball in. 2, you're putting too much pressure on your team having to make free throws. Because even if Chet makes both of his free throws, they're going to foul again. And it was like 7 seconds left. So then someone else is going to have to come down the court. So as soon as you miss one free throw, the Nuggets have a chance to either tie or win the game. So, of course, Aaron Gordon makes the first 2 shots. They call timeout. This time they don't let SGA get the ball, and it has to go to Chet. They double SGA. Chet is a 75% free throw shooter. I'm not sure like who all the best free throw shooters are, but if that's in that instance, you put all your best free throw shooters in. Now, I understand that they don't have any more timeouts, so that's probably their thinking. You can't sub in all your best free throw shooters because we don't have a way to sub them out. Actually, yes, you do. After the first free throw, you can sub all your players back in. So, actually, I don't understand the strategy even more. So, you could have had all your best free throw shooters in it. Either way, Chet chokes. He misses the first one, and now the Nuggets, the door's open. You have 7 seconds. They're not going to foul you. You just need to get a shot to go into overtime or to win the game. And then he misses the second. Obviously, now they're in a win now situation. You can win with the next shot. Russell Westbrook gets the ball, makes a great pass to Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon hits the shot, and now you have no timeouts, and Jalen Williams has to heave up a 60-foot shot for the win, and you lose. And Mark Daigneault, he's a great coach. Don't get me wrong, but like if this had been like if this was like this is a win now team, but like if this was a team that had been together, like let's say this was like the Celtics team last year, where it's like, all right, y'all been to the conference finals multiple times and the finals, and y'all still haven't won. This would be I'm being so serious. If they lose the series, this would be a fireable offense. Obviously, I don't think that's gonna happen to Mark Daigneault if they lose this series, but like if they lose the series in 6 or 7 games, this is exactly what we're gonna look back to as to why they lost the series. If it's close throughout, if there's all close games throughout, then this is the reason why they would lose the series. And I don't know. This is one of the worst coaching strategies I've ever seen. I still think the Thunder are going to be fine. I think you can tell for mainly 47 minutes and 45 seconds that they're a better team. They just have it just looks easier for them to create offense, and they're locking up defensively. Obviously, they don't have an answer for Jokic, but if Jokic has to score 40 plus just for the Nuggets to be in the game and you can limit everyone else, I think that's the best strategy to winning for the Thunder. Aaron Gordon, true Nugget through and through, made some big shots. He's going to be pivotal in the series, as you see. Yeah, he ended up with 22, scored the last 5 for the Nuggets, and he was able to hit some big shots to just continuously keep them in. And then obviously you had Jokic, the closer, at the end of the game, just willing his team to a victory. Is a great win for the Nuggets. They definitely stole one here, and the Thunder definitely helped them win this game just by poor execution with free throws and just poor coaching, honestly, at the end of the game, as I've said before. So I wouldn't be overly dramatic about this loss if I was a Thunder fan. I would still be very confident, but this one has to hurt. As for the Knicks and the Celtics, my New York Knicks came back down from 20 plus. I felt I'm just gonna give y'all a totally biased thing standpoint, but also not be non-biased in the same sense because it's kind of hard when you're a Knicks fan. All right, so we played a sloppy first quarter. We played a good first quarter in terms of like defense and hanging around, so everything was good there. Then the second quarter, we got some touchy fouls, like the Jason Tatum jump into Cat. I didn't agree with that. The third foul to get Cat out, and then obviously after Cat's out, we lost our mismatches. We weren't able to because you could see the mismatches on the floor. They weren't guarding Josh Hart, and Josh Hart was doing a great job just driving at Porzingis and getting other people open. You can see sort of the chess match forming for both teams, and then they're obviously going to go at Jalen Brunson and Cat, and OG, Mikal, and Hart are going to have to recover to shooters and cover up ground for some of the blow-bys that are going to obviously happen when Jalen Brunson and Cat are guarding Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown or whoever. But anyways, they go up 15 at the end of the second. Just after Cat goes out, they're able to do Hacker Robinson, and then they just started hitting their shots. Obviously, Jason Tatum was going crazy. I think he scored 13. He ripped off 13 points in a row. I'm not sure why he didn't shoot again until basically it felt like the fourth quarter. He just stopped shooting in general. Kristaps, he ended up being sick, but I would rather have Kristaps in than Al Horford. I thought Al Horford played some great defense, got him some extra offensive rebounds and stuff. I mean, obviously the shots weren't dropping for them, and that's not going to happen again. They're not going to miss 45 threes in a row. But it was a great performance by the others, as Shaq and Stan Van Gundy like to call them all the time. They're like the others. I felt like Josh Hart was. This is gonna sound crazy. I feel like Josh Hart was the best player on the floor. OG obviously did some big things when it was the third quarter to bring us back into the game. But Josh Hart, just his impact doing the little things, and Mikal too. But Josh Hart just winning extra boards, his hustle, getting us extra possessions, his defense. He came up with a couple of big steals. Josh Hart felt pretty big, and then he was able to get us out in transition and push the pace for us, which I really felt helped in our comeback. And then obviously Jalen Brunson, the best closer in basketball, went absolutely nuclear, and then he went cold. Misses the easiest game winner he's probably ever going to have in his career. And besides like I guess a wide open layup, but Jalen Brunson hits that shot 9 times out of 10. As for the Celtics, I'm not sure what they were doing. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown kept getting switches on, especially like Jaylen Brown kept getting the cat switch, and he kept like I don't know what these herky jerky movements, and then like settled for like a mid range shot over a 7-footer. Like Cat didn't really have to guard him, and obviously Cat was in foul trouble, so like go to the rim, like blow by him, go to the rim. They kept settling for step backs. Jason Tatum, I don't know, forgot that he was 6'9" again, taking step back threes over Jalen Brunson for some odd reason. I'm not really sure what goes through these guys' heads. Sometimes they obviously do this. If you can make them play an ISO game, I feel like that's the best chance for the Knicks to come back in the series. Like the Celtics are flawed sometimes, but they're a better team than us. But they do these things that are like questionable a lot of the times. I feel like the best situation for the Knicks, I mean, it's going to sound crazy. I feel like we should switch more. I feel like you saw that more in the second half. And it makes Boston play more ISO ball, and it's not easier for us to defend, but they have to run good offense in order to score. Instead of like this brush screen that we like to do with Jalen Brunson, because then Jason Tatum gets to just walk into a 25-foot shot every time wide open with no one guarding him. So those shots are going to start falling for the Celtics, but just a great win for the Knicks. And overall, just a great night for the NBA, I thought. That's all I got today. Those are my thoughts. Had to come up here and say something after last night's games. Sorry, I'm not as loud. I'm in the office, but yeah. In general, I can't wait to see how these series goes. Still Knicks in 7 for me. I don't care if you think I'm delusional. Knicks in 7. So if things like this are going to happen, if we can keep it close and get it to Jalen Brunson, 5 minutes left in a close game, I think the Knicks can pull it out. As long as we don't let the Celtics big too much of a lead, like 20-point lead, we can't let that keep happening. It's going to happen again throughout the series, but if most games we can keep it within 5 to 7 points, and we're coming down to the fourth quarter, you got to like the Knicks' chances with the best closer. And then sometimes, the Celtics have this tendency to I don't want to say choke, but falter when the games are getting tight. So anyways, Knicks in 7, Nuggets get a big steal here. I still think the Thunder are going to still win that series. Can't wait for tonight's action in basketball. We got Ant versus Steph, Draymond versus Gobert. Hopefully he doesn't choke him out. And then we got game 2 of the Pacers and Cavs. I think the Cavs will actually come back and blow them out. Hopefully Garland plays, but they were dealing with some key injury issues with Mobley and Hunter. But I expect the Cavs to come out swinging and play way better defensively than they played the first game. All right, I'm out, boys.